guys, welcome back. Which project to buy right now? Pulsechain or Pulsex? And you can't choose both. We're going to answer this question in this video. This has actually been an important question since day one, even before the sacrifice. Everybody wanted to know, what should I choose? Pulsex, should I go 50-50 on both, etc, etc. But if we're talking about right now, we are going to reveal which is the best option from our perspective, our analysis, and the metric is going to be purely based on percentage gains. And we're going to look at the short term, mid-term, and long term. Now, before we get into the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, click the bell notification icon so you can stay up to date with all my recent videos. Remember, guys, nothing that you see in this video is financial advice. So always make sure to do your own independent research. And with that being said, pause the video, click the link in my description, and join the free Telegram group so you can stay up to date with all my recent updates, news updates, technical updates, and much, much more. Have you joined the free Telegram group yet? You haven't, have you? So pause it and click the link below and join us now. Done? Perfect. Let's get straight into the video. Now, Pulsechain, let's start off with Pulsechain. So Pulsechain on the day of launch, which was in May last year, to think it hasn't even been a year yet, right? So price went up around 900, just over 900%, just under 950%, and this was within the space of about a week or so, right? So this was a very 1 week or 2 weeks, but it was a very fast move, and that is incredible. That's almost a 10x within the space of 2 weeks. Absolutely incredible. Now, of course, as you know, Pulsechain did start to sell off, right? So it did sell off once it peaked out, and price did go to the downside, continue to go to the downside, and of course we saw the SEC scenario. Price then sells off, goes to a low of around 88%. Right, so 88% low in the grand scheme of things. Now, although that may sound scary, when we looked at Hex, you'll see that Hex also, when it launched, crashed to about 90% or so, and then going on to achieve 1,000,000% in the last bull cycle, right? So that's not much to worry about. But again, let's just go over that again. So the first major pullback, let's just do it to the first major pullback, about 72%. And then, of course, we see the SEC scenario out of everybody's control. And then, of course, an 88% move has been completed. But let's look at how prices performed from the low. So how has Pulsechain performed for the low, and how long did it take? So the bottom was on around basically August 25th, around that period. And since then, Pulsechain is currently up 279%, right? And you can write this down so you can follow the math in this video. So 279% from the lows. Just from this year alone, price is currently up 160%, right? And this is Pulsechain we're talking about, right? So although we saw the sell-off, we've seen price recover. We saw from the lows 270, and from so far this year over 160, right? So Pulsechain, write that all down. Now let's have a look at Pulsex, right? So Pulsex, let's get the chart up. So Pulsex, when this project launched, and to be fair, when we were talking about projects that we like on the Pulsechain ecosystem, we had Pulsex up as our one-to-one. Even in the sacrifice stage, we were talking a lot about Pulsex. But anyway, from the launch, exact same day as Pulsechain, we see price go up almost 2,000%. So we can already see a massive difference there. Let's just look at Pulsechain again. Pulsechain went up from and again within the same time period, just under 900, around 950%, and Pulsex doubles that at 2,000%, just under 2,000%. Now, of course, although it went up a lot more, we know there was a lot more volatility, and the sell-off back down, in fact, pretty much the same as Pulsechain actually. So also a 77% drawdown to its lowest area. We see a price go down 93%. So one was 88%, Pulsechain was 93%. So remember, although the gains went up quite a bit, the volatility works both ways. A 93% sell-off down to its lows, which is around the same as Hex when it sold off when Hex was initially launched, right? So you can see here, yes, 2,000% to the upside, but we saw a 93% sell-off to the upside. So I guess, Pulsechain wins in terms of the drawdown factor, right? So for example, if you're someone that who doesn't like much volatility, Pulsechain would have been the best coin. However, when we talk about gains to begin with, obviously Pulsex outperforms Pulsechain. But that was then, this is now. Let's actually have a look at what's happened since then. So let's see where the lows are. So the lows for Pulsechain were on August the 26th, and actually Pulsechain starts moving to the upside, well, in fact pretty much the same time price ranges, although price is more stable with Pulsechain. But let's have a look. So we see our lows at around the same time, September, and then we see price all the way back up to its very high of 500% from its lows, currently 490%. So you can see there's a massive difference when it comes to percentage gains for Pulsechain and Pulsex. Pulsechain was 270, Pulsechain's 490. And let's look at the gain so far for the year. We'll do it from the lows that we did with Pulsechain. Currently 270%. So over 100% more than Pulsechain. Now, remember, past performance is no indicator of future success. However, one thing we can clearly see is there's a correlation between both Pulsechain and Pulsex. If one goes down, the other goes down. If one goes up, the other goes up. Now, how long this will last for, we don't know. But it's safe to say for the short term, Pulsechain wins undoubtedly, right? So if I'm looking for a coin to buy right now out of the two, I'm looking at Pulsex. That's what I'm looking at. But one thing to factor in is if we see a pullback, expect deeper pullbacks than you would with Pulsechain. So if you don't want, crazy volatility, then Pulsechain might be the coin for you. But if you don't care about volatility, and to be fair, this is an obscure project in comparison to the overall cryptocurrency market. The actual process to get your hands on these kinds of projects says it all. So you're probably not going to be risk averse if you're watching this video, or if you're already in Hex, or if you're already in Pulsechain, or if you're already in Pulsex and other projects on the chain, right? So you're probably not going to care too much about volatility. Pulsex takes the winning stage. But let's talk about midterm, right? So let's talk about the next 6 months, for example. Where do I want to have my capital? Now, again, I think Pulsex wins that race as well. For the long term, well, to be honest with you, we don't know, right? Because we don't know whether the correlation will last forever, right? So betting on one or the other for the long term, I think isn't a wise decision, right? So if I was betting for the long term, so let's just say you're in this space and you're betting purely for the long term, you have no intentions of taking short-term profit or anything of that nature, well, that's when I would say, you know what, I would either split in the middle between Pulsex and Pulsechain, or I would maybe look at, what do you think, where do you see the future of cryptocurrency, right? Do you think Pulsex has the decentralized exchange has more of utility in the overall cryptocurrency space, or do you say, you know what, I just want to stick to Pulsechain, right? I don't want to try and bet on the tech or anything like that. I just want to bet on Pulsechain. I want to bet on the Pulsechain ecosystem, etc. Right? These are the things that you have to look at. But if I'm betting for the long term, I'm always going to split it in half. I would never pick one or the other, because although yes, Pulsex has clearly outperformed Pulsechain so far in terms of percentage gains, you don't know what the future looks like, right? We could see a decorrelation at some point, right? And again, an example of this would be Hex and, EHEX, etc., right? So With that being said, right, if you made it this far in the video, well done. It means, you are serious about your development in the cryptocurrency space. And we actually gave out an important project on a part of the Pulsechain ecosystem, which we believe will achieve a 50x in the short term, right? A 50x. We gave out our positions yesterday. Our members have already started positioning themselves. If you want to be a part of this, now's the time to join our Crypto Crew Premium channel. Now, what is Crypto Crew Premium? Crypto Crew Premium is our exclusive Telegram group where you'll get access to our other 100x projects, our profit-taking strategies for Pulsechain, Pulsex, and other projects. You'll get our overall, strategy for the entire market. When do we think the market will dip? When do we think the market will start to rally, etc.? We've got some in-depth analysis there for you. But if you want access for this 50x gem that we think is going to explode, and it's already taken off actually, so you better do this quick, right? Link in my description. Join Crypto Crew Premium now, or reach out and send me a message if you would like to learn more. And before we wrap up, why should you listen to me? Well, I called the market bottom on the 29th of November 2022. Again, this is all verified on my Twitter. You can see that with the link below. We also called the Bitcoin bottom. We called Bonk the largest percentage gainer last year out of the entire cryptocurrency market, achieving a 13,000% gain. We called Bonk under a $50 million market cap. We also called Pepe under 100 million, and we called the top of Pepe on the day as well. So does that sound good to you? Join Crypto Crew Premium now. The link is in my description. Until the next update, seize the day.